Perfect. Here is a reality that will enrich you and makes it feels like a complete historical documentary. Each chapter will be expanded with storytelling, historical details, cultural context, and visual ideas so that you will stay engaged from beginning to end with the topic. The first Anglican missionaries in Nigeria. First, let's start with introduction. Hello everyone, welcome to Christians' Faith Origins and Stories. Today, we're traveling back to the mid-19th century to explore one of the most powerful turning points in Nigerian history, the arrival of the very first Anglican missionaries. This story is not just about religion, it's about culture, education, courage, and transformation. We will uncover how Anglican missionaries, alongside freed African slaves, planted seeds of faith and literacy that changed Nigeria forever. So sit back, and let's begin this incredible journey of sacrifice, hope, and legacy. Chapter 1. The Global Backdrop. Why Africa? Why Nigeria? To understand why missionaries came to Nigeria, we must first step back into the early 1800s. Europe was experiencing what historians call the Evangelical Revival, a movement that ignited Christians, especially Anglicans, with a passion to spread the gospel globally. Two events made Nigeria a prime focus. 1. The abolition of the transatlantic slave trade. 1807 freed slaves were resettled in Sierra Leone, and many of them wanted to bring Christianity to their ancestral homes. 2. British naval and trade expansion. With British ships patrolling the West African coast, opportunities opened up for missionaries to establish schools and churches. Chapter 2. The Church Missionary Society, CMS, and their vision. The Church Missionary Society, CMS, founded in London in 1799, became the leading Anglican mission agency. Its vision was simple yet radical: to spread Christianity, education, and civilization across Africa. From Sierra Leone, which had become a Christian stronghold of freed slaves, CMS missionaries looked eastward toward Nigeria. They saw Nigeria not only as a spiritual frontier but also as a land deeply connected to the stories of slavery. Chapter 3. The First Landing, Badagry, 1842. The Anglican mission to Nigeria officially began in 1842 when Reverend Henry Townsend, supported by Reverend Birch Freeman, a Methodist missionary who first surveyed the ground, landed in Badagry, near Lagos. Badagry was chosen because it was already a hub of freed slaves, trade, and cultural exchange. The first Anglican service was conducted under a tree, a humble beginning for what would become a great movement. Chapter 4. The Heroes, Henry Townsend and Samuel Ajayi Crowther. Two names stand out in this story. Henry Townsend, the English missionary who worked tirelessly to establish schools, churches, and printing presses. Samuel Ajayi Crowther, a Yoruba boy once enslaved, freed by the British, educated in Sierra Leone, trained in England, and returned as a missionary. He later became the first African Anglican bishop in 1864. Crowther's brilliance in languages and cultural understanding made him indispensable. He translated the Bible into Yoruba and created a bridge between the gospel and local traditions. Chapter 5. Spread into Yorubaland, Abeokuta as a stronghold. From Badagry, missionaries moved inland to Abeokuta in 1845. With the support of Egba chiefs, Townsend and Crowther established schools and churches. Abeokuta became the beating heart of Anglican missionary activity. They introduced the first printing press in Nigeria and began printing Yoruba language materials. The focus was not only preaching but also empowering people through literacy. Chapter 6. The Power of Language, Translation and Printing. Language was the true weapon of the Anglican mission. Missionaries quickly realized that the gospel could not thrive if taught only in English. Crowther and others developed Yoruba grammar, wrote dictionaries, and translated the Bible. The printing press in Abeokuta became a center of education and evangelism, producing tracts, hymn books, and textbooks. This effort preserved local languages while also spreading Christianity. Chapter 7. Struggles, Sacrifices, and Resistance. The journey was far from smooth. Missionaries faced deadly diseases. Malaria and yellow fever killed many within months. Hostile environments. Some chiefs and traditional priests resisted, fearing the loss of their religious influence. Cultural tensions. Polygamy, traditional festivals, and indigenous beliefs clashed with missionary teachings. Despite these struggles, the missionaries persevered. Chapter 8. Education, the Seed of Transformation. One of the most lasting impacts of Anglican missionaries was education. Schools became their most powerful tool of evangelism. They taught reading, writing, arithmetic, and Christian doctrine. Girls were also admitted to schools, something groundbreaking in a male-dominated society. From these schools came the first generation of Western-educated Nigerians, many of whom later became lawyers, doctors, teachers, and political leaders. Chapter 9. Medical Missions and Community Impact. Beyond preaching and teaching, missionaries also introduced basic medicine and hygiene. They taught about smallpox vaccination, treated malaria with quinine, and trained locals in basic healthcare. Church mission compounds became places of healing, where people not only heard the gospel but also received physical care. Chapter 10. The Rise of the Indigenous Church. By the mid-19th century, Anglicanism in Nigeria was no longer just a European project. Africans themselves became priests, catechists, and teachers. The crowning moment was in 1864, when Samuel Ajayi Crowther was consecrated as the first African Anglican bishop. His leadership proved that Africans could lead their own church and spread the gospel even better than foreign missionaries. Chapter 11. Expansion along the Niger River. Crowther later led the Niger Mission, sailing along the Great Niger River to establish new mission stations. He reached communities in today's Niger Delta and northern Nigeria. This expansion brought Christianity into contact with Islam in the north, traditional religion in the south, and diverse ethnic communities. It showed the adaptability of Anglicanism to Nigerian contexts. Chapter 12. Legacy and Lasting Impact. The first Anglican missionaries left a lasting mark on Nigeria. They spread Christianity and laid the foundation for what is now one of the largest Anglican communities in the world. They introduced Western education, producing leaders of modern Nigeria. They empowered Africans to take ownership of the church. Today, the Church of Nigeria, Anglican Communion, counts over 18 million members, with cathedrals, schools, and hospitals across the country, a living legacy of those first missionaries. Conclusion. And that's the full story of the first Anglican missionaries in Nigeria, a story of faith, sacrifice, and transformation. From the beaches of Badagry to the rise of Bishop Crowther, this was more than just religion, it was the birth of a new cultural era in Nigeria. Do you think the missionaries' influence was more positive or more disruptive to Nigerian traditions? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching Christians' Faith Origins and Stories. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more engaging history and faith stories. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.